Imagine sitting in a meeting where a single decision you make saves your company $2 million in wasted server costs. You didn't write a line of production code today. You didn't manage a single direct report, but your signature is on the architecture diagram, and that diagram is now the backbone of the entire business. This is the reality for a cloud solutions architect, and the average salary for this role in the United States sits above $200,000 a year. But wait until the end, and I will describe exactly how to get qualified and land a job in this field. So, what is actually going on here? Why does a company pay this much for someone who doesn't write the code and doesn't manage the people? Because someone has to design the entire system before a single feature gets built. Someone has to decide where the data lives. Someone has to decide how the servers talk to each other, how much they cost, and what happens when 10,000 customers log in at the exact same second. That someone is you. Let's strip away the job title and look at what you actually do all day. You start your morning not writing code, but reading dashboards, cost dashboards, performance dashboards, security alerts. You are looking for problems before they become disasters. A spike in cloud spending, a service that's about to hit capacity, a security gap nobody else noticed. This is called cloud governance, and it just means keeping the whole system healthy, efficient, and safe. Then come the meetings. Not status update meetings, design meetings. A product team wants to launch a new feature in 6 weeks. They come to you and ask, can our systems handle this? Should we build it on AWS, on Azure, or on Google Cloud? Each of those names is simply a different company renting out computing power, storage, and tools over the internet instead of a business buying and running its own physical servers. Your job is to translate business goals into technical blueprints. You draw the diagram. You choose the tools. You explain, in plain language, why this approach will scale and that one will collapse under pressure. You also spend real time inside tools most people have never heard of. Terraform, which lets you write code that automatically builds entire cloud environments instead of clicking buttons by hand. Kubernetes, which manages hundreds or thousands of small software containers so they run smoothly without a human babysitting each one. Identity and access management systems, which control exactly who inside the company can see or touch sensitive data. None of these are optional. They are the daily instruments of your trade, the same way a surgeon relies on specific tools in a specific order. Beyond Terraform and Kubernetes, you're also fluent in networking concepts most employees never think about. Virtual private clouds, which are isolated sections of the internet your company controls completely. Load balancers, which spread incoming traffic across multiple servers so no single machine gets overwhelmed. Content delivery networks, which store copies of your website closer to customers around the world so pages load in milliseconds instead of seconds. Every one of these decisions shapes whether your company's product feels instant or feels broken. You also live inside monitoring platforms like Datadog or CloudWatch, watching real-time graphs of traffic, latency, and error rates. When a graph spikes unexpectedly, you're the first line of investigation. Is this a legitimate surge in customers, or is this an attack? Is this a bug in new code, or a misconfigured server? You answer that question before most of the company even knows there's a question to ask. Here's a question worth sitting with. If none of this touches the product directly, why does it matter so much to the business? Because a badly designed cloud system doesn't just run slowly, it bleeds money. Industry salary and market reports show cloud architecture consistently ranked among the highest paid technical roles, precisely because a single flawed decision at this level can cost a company millions in wasted infrastructure spend or a catastrophic outage. When a system goes down for an hour during peak traffic, that isn't just an inconvenience. That's lost revenue, lost customer trust, and sometimes a public relations disaster. You are the person standing between the business and that outcome. Let's talk about who actually hires for this role. It's not just tech giants. Financial services companies hire cloud architects to keep trading platforms running without a millisecond of unplanned downtime. Healthcare companies hire you to make sure patient data is encrypted, backed up, and compliant with strict privacy law. Retailers hire you to make sure their website doesn't crash on the biggest shopping day of the year. Consulting firms hire you to walk into other companies and rebuild their entire technology foundation from scratch. Wherever a business depends on digital infrastructure to make money, this role exists. And you rarely work alone. You sit at the intersection of several teams that, on paper, don't even report to each other. Developers come to you when they need the environment their code will run inside. Security teams come to you to make sure that environment can't be broken into. Finance comes to you when the cloud bill spikes and nobody can explain why. Executives come to you when they're deciding whether to invest millions in a new platform. You are translating between all of these groups, all day, every day. That's rare. Most technical roles only speak one language. You speak all of them. Think about what that means for your career security. A developer who only writes code is competing with thousands of other developers who write similar code. You are not just writing code. You are the person who understands the business impact of every technical choice, and that combination of skills is far harder to replace. Companies don't just want someone who can build a system. They want someone who can be trusted to protect the business while building it. This cross-functional weight also shows up in how promotions work. Junior architects get handed a single project. Senior architects get handed an entire migration, moving a company's whole technology foundation from an old, expensive data center onto a modern cloud platform. These migrations can take years and involve hundreds of decisions, and the person leading that migration becomes indispensable to the business almost overnight. Now, here's where it gets interesting for your bank account. Recent salary data puts the typical cloud solutions architect between roughly $120,000 and $230,000 a year, with senior architects at large tech companies routinely clearing $290,000 in total compensation. Some architects working at the top of the market see total packages closer to $350,000. This isn't a ceiling reserved for people with rare genius. It's a ceiling reserved for people who understand systems and can explain them clearly. Why does the shortage exist? Because most companies migrated to the cloud faster than they trained people to manage it. They built environments in a hurry, without anyone thinking long-term about cost or security. Now, they're paying architects enormous sums to come in and fix the mess, or prevent the next one. Demand outpaces supply. That imbalance is exactly where high salaries come from. Let's be honest about something most explainer videos skip. This role does come with pressure. When something breaks at 3 in the morning, the first question leadership asks is, who designed this system? If that's your name on the diagram, you're the one explaining what happened and how it gets fixed. But that pressure is exactly why the pay is so high. Companies aren't paying for comfort. They're paying to eliminate risk. So how does someone actually get into this field, especially if you're not currently a developer? Start with the foundation. You don't need a computer science degree. What you need is a working understanding of how one major cloud platform operates, and the fastest way to prove that to an employer is through certification. AWS offers the Certified Solutions Architect credential. Microsoft offers the Azure Solutions Architect Expert certification. Google offers the Professional Cloud Architect certification. Pick one platform, not all three, and go deep before you go wide. These certifications matter for a very specific reason. Corporate hiring today runs through automated filters before a human ever sees your resume. Recruiters set these filters to search for exact keywords, and a recognized cloud certification is one of the fastest ways to pass through that filter and land in front of an actual hiring manager. Once you have that certification, build proof of hands-on skill. Set up a small project in a free tier cloud account. Deploy a basic application. Document how you designed it and why. This becomes your portfolio. And in interviews, a real project beats a memorized textbook definition every single time. Next, target the right entry point. Most cloud solutions architects don't start in this title. They start as a systems administrator, a support engineer, or a junior developer, and they use their certification to pivot upward within 18 to 24 months. If you're already working in IT in any capacity, you are closer to this transition than you think. Even roles that seem unrelated on the surface, like technical support or help desk work, give you daily exposure to the systems and troubleshooting mindset this role demands. While you're building toward that pivot, look internally first. Many companies would rather train and promote someone who already understands their business than hire an unknown candidate from outside. Ask to shadow a cloud project. Volunteer for any task involving infrastructure, deployment, or system design. Every hour spent near real cloud environments makes your eventual interview answers sharper and more credible. Finally, learn to talk like an architect, not just a technician. In interviews, you won't just be asked what a service does. You'll be asked why you would choose it over an alternative, and what it costs the business if you're wrong. Practice explaining technical decisions in terms of dollars saved, risk avoided, and time gained. That's the actual skill this job is built on. One more thing that separates candidates who get hired from candidates who don't. Document everything you build, even small practice projects, in a simple portfolio you can share with a link. A hiring manager scanning 50 resumes will remember the one candidate who can show, not just tell, how they think through a system design problem. So think back to that meeting at the very start, the one where a single decision saved $2 million. That wasn't luck, and it wasn't magic. It was someone who understood systems well enough to see the problem before it happened. It was someone who got certified, built proof of their skill, and learned to speak the language of both engineers and executives. That person didn't need a computer science degree, and neither do you. You might be closer to your dream job than you think. Not because of luck, and not because of some rare talent, but because the path is clearer than it looks, once you know it exists. So like this video, subscribe, and comment your current job or the career you're chasing. You might be one certification away from a door you didn't even know was open. See you in the next one.